Welcome Modern Tactical Shooting. Now for this video, we're going to be talking civilian go bags. Now I already have a video titled bailout bags, which I'll put a link down in the description, but that video focuses on the bags we carried in the early days of Iraq, a lot of these medic bags, loaded up with ammo and extra munitions, the things we carried on us to get us through a gunfight. So you can bail out of the vehicle and you have extra fighting items in this small bag right here. And for this video, I decided, hey, why not cover my civilian go bag, my EDC bag that I carry every day. Now, go bags is a pretty saturated topic here on YouTube. I checked it out and just about every tactical YouTuber has a video on go bags. But hey, why not give you my opinion on what makes a good civilian go bag? And again, go bag, bailout bag, I use the term interchangeably, but there is a difference between a go bag and a bug out bag. And to me, a bug out bag is a larger pack that is filled with sustainment items, kind of like this Source 35-liter patrol pack right here. It's a true 3-day pack, and this I can pack up with extra clothes, food and water for multiple days. This is a bug out bag, meaning you're going to take this, go to an entirely new location and expect to maybe live out of it. So having a bag like this packed up at your house in case of a natural disaster or a shift scenario where, hey, I'm not going to see my house again, I'm going to grab my bug out bag and head for the hills. And again, I want to focus on smaller bags that you have on you to get you through an immediate event, and that will be the focus of this video. So let's get into civilian go bags right now. So let's get into bag selection first. Now the obvious answer or choice with many people is going to be a backpack, either a civilian style or maybe a tactical pack with MOLLE. These are super handy. Let me talk about your small tactical packs first. This is actually a bag I used as my bailout bag on one of my early tours in Afghanistan. Pretty handy bag, got the MOLLE and all this other stuff on here. But the problem is, in civilian clothes, this is a far indicator screaming that you're ex-military or current military or law enforcement or some sort of first responder. And it's just a far indicator. And I don't want that look as a civilian, even though these are super practical bags. So I only use bags like this when I'm out camping or hiking. You won't see me in civilian clothes rocking your tactical style backpack. You see these in airports and you just like, hey, there's a military type person right there. And yes, I do understand that the way I dress, the way you see me here in this video with a hiking shirt, I'm wearing hiking pants and Merrell shoes and a tactical baseball hat. I probably scream retired military or some sort of tactical guy anyways. I understand I have that look, but if I did want to tone down my look to say being more civilian, well, this bag is going to scream some sort of preparedness type person anyways. So I stay away from the tactical style packs and I would opt for a straight civilian backpack. Now this civilian backpack right here is from like 2011. I got it from Walmart. It's Outdoor Products. Some you would say lower end brand, but the stitching on it is actually super heavy duty, pretty heavy duty nylon. And this bag is from like 2011. I actually used this on a trip to Pakistan. We were in civilian clothes the entire time. I needed a go bag. Now this bag is right on the scale of being a little bit maybe too large. It just barely fits on the floorboard between my legs and the seat, which is where I want. But yeah, I did use this for a trip. Now it's just a hiking bag. But the problem with backpacks, and I talked about this in my bailout bag video, is yes, they do a great job of holding items, but once you put them on your back, accessibility is an issue. It's really hard to be running and gunning with a backpack because everything you need is on your back. And in my bailout bag video, a lot of people talked about, well, hey, you can just wear one strap and wear it crossbody, kind of like a messenger bag. Yeah, that kind of works, but because the bag's designed to hold stuff vertically, if the bag stays unzipped and you're running and gunning, there's a chance of stuff falling out. So you got to take the time to zip up the backpack properly depending on the opening on it. It's just not ideal. That is why, yes, civilian style backpack works. It may work for a lot of people, but I prefer your messenger type bag. And another thing with civilian backpacks is it's a far indicator that you are an American. Europeans, yeah, they carry backpacks, but nowhere near in the amount of Americans. It just screams, I'm an American when you're overseas. We love our backpacks, and a lot of people have fashion faux pas. You shouldn't be wearing a backpack when you're in business casual or more formal stuff anyways, but we love our backpacks. So if you're doing a lot of overseas stuff, this just screams, hey, you're an American, whether you're some sort of tactical person or not. So I like to tone down the look even more. Again, I know looking like this, I'm not fooling anybody in my basically contractor special look right here. But if I did want to look more civilian, this is again one more item I would avoid. So let's look at the bag that I do use and I do carry. It really is my EDC as my go bag. So I prefer your messenger style bags, your Merces, your man purse, or your European handbag, whatever you want to call your messenger bag. And yes, this is a green waxed canvas bag, and you could say, well, Jeff, that looks like an army bag, but really military bags are ballistic nylon and they have moly webbing. So this to me has a more old school look. You could say, hey, it looks too military. There are a lot more civilian looking messenger bags out there, but this is just the one I like. This is a generic one I got off of Amazon probably about 7 or 8 years ago. It was $35 and I actually waxed it myself. And I started using a messenger bag when I was doing a little bit of military contracting. I've only done just a little bit, some PSD work. And they were like, hey, where we're going, we're not going to wear backpacks. Go and get yourself a messenger bag. Again, just to tone down the look a little bit. And they are super handy because while you're wearing it, you can have immediate access to the contents inside the bag. And that's why I think these are superior to a backpack. And in my bailout bag video, I'm doing some rifle reloads out of a bag, and that is this bag right here. So I think they are the most practical bag out there for a go bag. And again, if you're looking to tone down your look a little bit, I think these do a lot better job than walking around with a backpack everywhere. So let's actually get into the contents of the bag itself. But before I do that, let me say that my go bag complements my EDC, which is the daily stuff I've got in my pockets. Now, I'm a minimalistic type guy when it comes to EDC and my go bag because I want this to be a practical bag still. I just don't want it loaded up and stuffed with stuff and not have a bag I can actually use. But I'll talk about the contents here in a second. Let me get my normal EDC items. So just for my daily walking around, I have 2 items. First is a Swiss Army knife and a Swiss clip. I've been carrying Swiss Army knives forever. When I was in the Special Forces still, they used to call it the old man's knife because I had a Swiss Army knife and not some huge fighting knife. Super handy though, and I like the multi-tools on it. And when I do go armed, and I don't pack heat everywhere, but when I do carry EDC, it's this Glock 19X with a Holosun on here. I actually have a separate video about when I went to this Holosun about 3 years ago, but this is my EDC as far as a firearm in a Raven concealment holster, or I'll go with just a straight Gen 5 Glock 19. But this has been my daily, and I want my go bag to supplement this. And when I do carry a spare magazine on me, it's one right here, and it's one I can just clip on. I don't always rock an extra magazine when I'm walking around. I usually throw this in the door of my car, and if I get out in an area where I'm like, well, this looks kind of creepy, then I can just throw this on because it's got the clips right here, so I can take it on and off. But yeah, this is my EDC right now as far as a firearm. Now let's actually get into the contents of my bag. So I'll take all the contents out of the bag one by one, and then I'll do a video overview of all the stuff laid out at the end here. But again, this is just a generic canvas bag I got off of Amazon. Let's start from the outside and work our way in. It has 2 outer pockets. Now I added this shock cord right here to hold water bottles or little hydro flasks, so I always carry some water on me. So I've got a hydro flask right here. Again, I added this shock cord just to hold water bottles. Now in the outside pockets, let me open up this one right here. I have, it was shrink wrapped, but it's got some air in it. I have a broken down IFAK. So I have an Israeli dressing, some quick clot, and some rubber gloves right here. This stays in the bag at all times. And I have one tourniquet, and it's a SWAT T-style tourniquet, which does take a little bit more practice to get a good bite around the tourniquet itself. And these are actually better to use on small children than trying to get a cat tourniquet on there. But yeah, this is a small enough tourniquet. I can throw it in my pocket if it's not in my bag. And I'm not expecting to run into 20 different gunshot wounds as a civilian. So for me, I have a pretty good comfort level with this SWAT T-style, even though it can be kind of finicky. Now in this outer pocket right here, that was some hand lotion that went flying there. I have a small waterproof pouch holding batteries, and this is batteries for the flashlight I have in here, and extra batteries for optics for my pistol, and some batteries for the optics of my rifle. I love flashlights. I have a stream light on here. This is a great EDC flashlight. It has a strobe function. For blinding, it's designed for self-defense, has a little bit of a beveled edge right here. Great little flashlight, and it's like 50 bucks, so if I lose it, it's no big deal, but I always like to have a flashlight on me. Now, let's go to the inside of the bag. Now, all this stuff, I don't always have all these items in here. It depends on the duration of the trip and how far I am going away from home. So some of these items do flex depending on, again, duration and distance. So on the inner pocket here, I've got a little Write in the Rain notebook, and I've got some pens and a Sharpie and a lighter. You can take lighters through TSA, so if I do need to do fire starting, I don't smoke or anything like that. Now I have lots of smaller bags in here. I like everything kind of organized. I just don't have stuff jammed in here I got to fight through. So one little pouch right here, this is just the cable to charge my cell phone. Then I have another pouch right here with USB drives and headphones, any stuff that supports electronics. That's what this little pouch is for. And then one of the most used items I have in this bag, yes, I have IFAK items to treat some sort of catastrophic gunshot wound or major injury, but more important, I think, for a go bag is to have a little first aid kit. For some people call it like a boo-boo kit or an ouch kit, is a small first aid kit with the stuff that really you need for all your bumps and cuts and scrapes, bacitration lotion, small band-aids and things like that. I think this is super handy. And also whatever meds you or your family members may require, keep 3 days worth of meds in here. That way, again, if you are out somewhere and you can't get back to where your meds are, you have at least 3 days on you. But this I use all the time. I have 4 kids now. Now they're all adults. But when you talk about cuts and scrapes, insect bites, just a little first aid kit. I use this all the time. Super handy. All right, next, I just got this actually, a way to charge your cell phone, an external battery. This one's pretty cool. It is Stealth Angel, and of course you can plug it in and charge it up, but also as you can see when I roll it out here, it can be charged via solar. So yes, you can be kind of off the grid and keep your cell phone going. Also has a built-in light. But yeah, some means to charge your cell phone since we're a modern world with cell phones as the primary means of communication. So very handy, or just have a conventional backup phone charger. I've got 2 tools on here. I don't always carry them, but with these 2 tools right here, I can handle almost any problem. The first is an old school Gerber multi-tool. And next is your multitasker tool with some screwdriver and hex head attachments and things like that. Super handy tool because it has weapon-specific tools. It's got a Glock punch in here. It has caps that go and they can adjust the optics on your aim points and things like that. And it has a screwdriver attachment and things like that in here. Front sight tool. It's a cool, handy little tool if you're going to the range a lot and you need a small tool. So I can get by with just this, or usually just a Gerber, but with both I can handle almost any little mechanical job. Now I used to carry one of those big life straws, but they're about 8 or 9 inches long. And I just recently got a smaller straw. This is from Sierra Madre products. They're pure water straw. I'm not going to break the seal on it because it does have a shelf life, but this is like half the size of a life straw as a means to get drinking water. If my car breaks down and I only have a puddle to drink from while I'm out there, out and about. This will work great. And either a space blanket or something like that is also a pretty good item to have too. Now, this is an emergency sleeping bag from Sierra Madre. I actually have paired up with them for this video, and I'm going to provide links down in the description to these two items right here. So they sent me these items to try out, and they're pretty cool. And yeah, I do think they're nifty little items. So either a space blanket, or this is basically a space blanket in the shape of a full-blown sleeping bag. You can cut it up, use it as a shelter, use it as a conventional sleeping bag. I think you should always have something like that on you. So yeah, two cool items. And again, I'll put links down in the description to those products. Gloves, these are some pig gloves. That way you protect your hands, especially if you're working on something, things like that. Just always handy to have. And lastly, two spare bags. And I just got them in this cheap magazine holder here. I just don't want loose mags banging around in the bag. I can grab this and I know I've got 2 extra mags on me. And I usually just keep Glock 17 mags in here. That way if I'm carrying my G19, they'll still work. They just stick out a little bit. So handy thing to have too. And if I want to fly with this bag, I only have to take out a few items like the magazines and the tools, and everything else can really go through TSA. So I don't have to do some huge dump of this and repacking to fly with this in an airport. So I always keep TSA in mind when it comes to my go bag. And as you can see, all these items, there's still plenty of room left in this bag because this is my everyday bag. I want room for a laptop in here and things like, say, a rain jacket or wet weather gear, or if it's a snivel gear or something like that. It's still a functional bag. I don't want to pack my go bag with just so many items that it's just packed to the hilt and you don't end up using it as a practical everyday bag, and it ends up just sitting in the back of your car. And then you're not going to have it on you when an event actually happens. So it needs to be a practical bag, and that's why this is kind of a minimalistic approach to the items I need. Again, it's just items I need to get me through an event, whether it's some sort of shift scenario or just car breaking down on the side of the road and I got a, 20-mile hike to the nearest gas station. I have means to get water, means to start a fire. I've got shelter if I need it. Things just get me through an immediate event. Now, real quick, I want to bring up something that I think is super cool. Now, if you watch my YouTube shorts, I play music I actually really like. And I guess the genre would be screamo or emo, new metal. I don't know what exactly genre it is, but it's bands I truly like. Groups like Under Oath, Taking Back Sunday, Thursday, bands all from the mid-2000s. And yes, all my friends make fun of me for listening to that music still. But hey, it's what I truly like, and I like to highlight it in those shorts. And what is really cool, in one video, and it's titled G-Watt Plate Carrier, and I can't play the music here because in long form video content like this, you can't play copyrighted music, only in the shorts, but I'll put a link down in the description to that short. The music I have playing, the song is Time to Grow, and the band is We Caught the Castle. It's an obscure British band. They actually broke up a few years ago, which is a complete bummer. But somehow the lead singer of that band saw my short that I showcased their music in. And I think that's super cool. And what's even cooler is she commented on it. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm a small channel. I'm a firearms channel, so not a channel that really gets out there, I don't think. So for the lead singer of a band that I really like to comment on one of my videos, well, that just made my day. And I'm going to put a link down to the full video. The band is We Caught the Castle, the song Time to Grow. It's a complete banger. Yeah, and I urge you to check it out. Now, let's get back to go bags. So there it is, my thoughts on a civilian go bag. And yes, this is a bag I carry. If you see me out and about, especially if I'm out of state traveling, walking around, sightseeing, being a tourist, you're gonna see me with this bag right here, a very practical bag. Again, I don't always have all these items in here. I'll have a variation or combination of these items, and maybe even some more items. There's still plenty of room in here for a laptop, to throw in some rifle mags, throw in more snivel gear, a very practical working bag. And I think that's key for a go bag, a bag that you actually want to use, and a bag that's not a burden to carry on you in your daily activities. So there it is, my thoughts, my bag that I use. Let me know what your idea of a go bag is down in the comments. And I might do a future video on Special Forces packs. I already done a rucksack video, but all the different assault style packs that we use during GWAT, that might be something with the theme of bags I might do in the future. But as always, hopefully you found this video informative and entertaining. I'm Jeff Gerwich. Thanks for watching.